I'm sure you've heard it. If you fail to prepare, then you must prepare to fail. So in today's show, we'll be ensuring that you are prepared for the new academic year. If you're a student, a parent, or a teacher, we will ensure that failure is not on your syllabus for the upcoming school term. Coming up, ways to make your toddler transition smoothly into basic school. Then, useful tips for making your college experience a worthwhile one, and suggestions on how teachers can start the upcoming school year with a bang. Stay right there and prepare yourself for an informative show right after this break.
Yes, the heat is on. And as we continue to deal with the sweltering heat and dry conditions, parents, it's important to keep your kids hydrated.
Give them lots of water, lots of fluids if you can. Do some fun things. If you can either make some syrup with lime, lemonade, and freeze it. You can put popsicle sticks in there, and you have your children do it. And that can be a fun activity for them to do. And it's something that will keep them hydrated also.
If your toddler will begin basic school for the first time this September, then there are a few things that you can do to make his or her first time a less frightening one. Have a look now at how you can prepare your child for the new learning environment.
I'm a circle, circle, I wanna be a square. I wanna be a
Are you the parent of a soon-to-be 3 or 4-year-old? If it's not already, this will become your reality in a couple of months. You've begun to prepare mentally and financially, and you've probably started the process of selecting a school for your child. Now, as you help your child get ready for this next phase of life, here are some tips on what you need to know about the school registration process.
A is for apple, apple. B is for bull, bull.
Having decided on the school of your choice, you need to find out when they're having the registration, because you want to be on time, you don't want to miss out on the school of your choice.
Generally, registration for preschool or basic school begins anywhere between January and May each year.
Fish, G is for gorilla, gorilla.
You get your application letter. Attached to the application form will be a cover letter stating when we'll have orientation, when there are meeting, when it's registration. So you follow that. It also states categorically that if you miss one of these meetings, then you automatically give up your space because one leads to the other.
Having been told when the registration will be, you go to the school. They will give you the information that you need for registration. Usually you need birth certificate, immunization, and 2 photographs of the child, passport size photograph. There will be a registration fee, and you will be told when is their orientation.
Q is for question, question. R is for ring.
During the parents' orientation, we will have more documents for you to fill out. There's a medical that's required by the Early Child Commission that parents have to answer questions about, like medical history. You'll get your bank voucher. You'll get samples of the uniform, the patterns, and so on.
If, for example, we're taking a child who is a 4-year-old who is coming from another school, then that child would need to take a transfer letter, which we would have given to the parent in May when they come to take out and return.
A is for yellow, yellow. Z is for zoo.
That's the time you take your child in, you get a feel of the school, you ask the relevant questions and stuff like that.
The orientation for the students, now that's sometimes done in a summer program or in some schools just prior to the reopening of school in September. They will have an orientation day for the new students. But basically we find that having an orientation during the summer where they'll have more time, they will meet and interface with the teacher they'll have. They'll get accustomed to the classroom that they'll be in, bathrooms and so on. They are much more prepared.
I'm a circle, circle, I wanna be a square. I wanna be a triangle.
and that preparation begins at home. Help make the transition as smooth as possible. Moving from home or daycare to school is a big step. So start talking to your child about going to school. Make the conversation fun. Play dress up, put on the school bag, use a coloring book. Whatever it takes to get your child ready for this next great adventure.
Wherever you are, I'm a star, I'm a diamond, I'm an oval, I'm a heart.
Play is very important to the development of children. It allows them to use their creativity and develop their imagination. Through play, children interact with the world around them. They learn how to work in groups, share and resolve conflicts.
They learn rules and they learn about respecting others and waiting turns and setting their own rules and guidelines for their games.
Set limits, but allow your children to play. It will help them develop the confidence and resilience needed to conquer future challenges.
Toddlers are not the only ones who need to prepare for a new school environment. Students attending tertiary level institutions for the first time also need some help. Here are some useful tips that you can use to get ready for the college life.
Students going off to colleges and universities in the upcoming school year, you're probably excited, scared, or having mixed feelings. You'll be greeted with an entirely new campus, an entirely new set of faces, and an entirely new set of courses.
You know, the move from high school to university can be a culture shock. It's a new environment, new friends, it's just new everything.
My fears about college, I'll be sidetracked.
College it has different persons here from different backgrounds, so you really don't know what to expect or who you're speaking to.
I can guarantee you'll be entering an entirely new world. But don't be dismayed. I've carefully prepared 8 useful tips just for you so that your journey through university is as easy as ABC. Tip number 1, attend orientation. So you're in, accepted to the tertiary school of your choice. Next step, head to classes, right? Not so fast. Before hitting the books, there is one important step all first-year students should take.
It's best for you to take orientation. You are given opportunity to go across the campus, to visit the library, to visit the different food areas, to know where your faculty is, where you find the classrooms. So when you come on the first day of school, you will not be lost like I was.
Tip number 2, dress simply. Some tertiary institutions, such as teachers' colleges, may ask you to wear uniforms to school, but for most universities, there is no stipulated dress code. That, however, does not mean anything goes.
Oh, it's very important to dress simply. Heels would not be a good idea if you need to get from point A to point B and cover large distances. Jewelry, should be simple and to a minimum, because you also don't want to attract thieves to your person, and you also want to be cool and comfortable as you walk through the campus.
Tip number 3, form positive student-lecturer relations. When you get to this level, the training wheels come off, so to speak.
Lecturers know they don't teach you as 1 + 1 is 2. Sometimes they give it to you as it is, and it is your job to go and find out more about the given area.
That means that knowledge will not be spoon-fed to you, and the lecturers won't be spending endless hours ensuring you're getting the most out of your university experience. That's your job. Each lecturer is likely to have office hours where you can have one-on-one discussion to clarify any issues you may have about the course. Additionally, some lecturers give students their contact information so they can consult with them outside of the office hours if necessary. Tip number 4, study, study, study. At college, it's imperative that you not only study, but study early and avoid overnight cramming before exams. You should always take detailed notes during lectures and tutorials so that you can read them over daily.
It's very important to study because at the end of the semester you have your end of year exams, which is really important.
It might be helpful to form productive study groups with peers and to find a suitable place on campus away from all the noise and distraction to study alone. Tip number 5, eat right. Living the university life can result in all sorts of unhealthy eating habits. Unavoidably tempted to by the many offerings of fast food meals and no adult supervision to keep you on track, your nutrition is solely your responsibility. Try to regularly cook healthy meals and consume as much vegetables and fruits as possible for a balanced diet. Tip number 6, practice safety measures. As the school year progresses, you may eventually have late night classes and studying on campus.
Ensure you have a friend with you. That's one main thing, and ensure that persons know where you're going to study or when you're coming from class late, stuff like that. So keep a friend informed about your whereabouts at night.
Tip number 7, manage your time well. Too often we see students get carried away at college. They want to attend every party and social event on campus and even those off campus. Some get so involved in clubs and societies that they don't have enough time to sleep, do laundry, study, visit home, do assignments, or even eat properly.
The balance is to be found in making sure that you attend classes, review your material, the academic material, and you set aside some time as well to enjoy those other co-curricular activities that will give you the roundedness that we desire in all our students.
Tip number 8, know thyself. Finally, going to college means that many of you will be off on your own for the first time, making your own decisions and setting your own agendas. But try to keep in mind the good morals and values that you learned from parents and relatives and remain true to yourself.
When you come to university or to college or wherever you go, I would tell them, just be yourself, be who you are. Don't try to change for the world, for anybody.
So there you go, guys. 8 important tips to keep in mind as you go off to college. Follow them and I'm sure they'll make your journey a lot better. All the best.
Got to be true to myself. Got to be true to myself.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and slapping, I said.
Nice! High five! Woo!
A good education will never decay.
We are accustomed to hearing back-to-school preparation tips for students and parents, but we often overlook a very important group. Without them, classes would not be in session. Yes, we're talking about our teachers. If you are a teacher or lecturer, here's how you can start your school year right.
Sound! 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 Let's try to put those together. Again? What's that word? Pops. Pops. Call that word. Pops. Call the word. Pops. This word says pops. All right.
Pretty soon, those kinds of scenes will be playing out in classrooms right across the island. But getting there takes a lot of pre-planning. And we know that for some teachers, this can be an exciting time, while others are anticipating the stress of the first day of class. So we have a few tips to help you start the school year right.
First and foremost, I have a passion. I love to help people, I love to help students. And one of my major success is getting a child who don't even know letter sounds, and at the end of a year or at the end of even 6 months, that child can read even a paragraph, and that is satisfying for me.
Most teachers will tell you that's their end goal. Not specifically the point of helping a child read, just generally making a difference. Taking a child from one stage of development to another.
You have to be committed, you have to be patient.
And you have to be prepared. So before that school bell rings for the first time, it's a good idea to reflect on the past. Experience is the ultimate learning tool. First-year teachers, you'll only have limited experience as a student teacher, but work with it and consult with those who've been practicing longer.
We have consultations where teachers meet and we talk about the program, how it is going, what we're doing, you know, what areas we're covering with the children.
Veteran teachers, you have much to call on, so use it. Think of all the things that went right and wrong in the past, decide what to repeat and assess what needs tweaking.
So it's a step-by-step process.
And one important step is to begin as you mean to go on. This is an attitude thing. On that very first day and for the next few weeks, it's important to set the tone for the rest of the year. So go ahead and greet every student at the door as they come in. A simple wave or smile will do, and the reward is a more relaxed and comfortable environment for everyone. Experts also suggest that you make small talk with some of the students. Walk around and learn what they did over the summer and create an environment where friendly conversation is the norm for the very first day. Be sure to introduce yourself. Tell them not just your name, but also your expectations for them and what they can expect from you. Having a successful new school year will as much be dependent on your relationship with parents as with your students. Parents can be your biggest ally or your biggest enemy, so get them on your side. More important, make them a part of the strategy to help their children learn. Try to contact each parent personally by setting up parent meetings, calling them on the phone, emailing them, or inviting them to see you at school. Feel free to use these few tips to start the school year on a positive footing. Create a learning environment that is comfortable for yourself, your students, and their parents. And remember to enjoy the experience.
It keeps our bodies working, our food nutritious, our living and working spaces clean, and our lives comfortable. Water, the most precious resource necessary for the sustenance of life on our planet. Don't waste it. Let's conserve on this critical commodity. In the house, invest in storage containers and buckets. Take quick showers instead of long baths, and invest in water-efficient shower heads, toilets, and faucets. You may also want to consider one-pot meals and cooking methods that don't require much water. You could also wash fruits and vegetables in a bowl and reuse the water on your plants or grass. When cleaning dishes, fill both sinks and use one for washing and the other for rinsing. The leftover water can be used to wash off the concrete or asphalt in your yard. If you must wash your car at home, aim for once a fortnight and use a bucket to do the washing instead of running the hose. Don't delay. Start your water conservation practices today.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, is projecting that Jamaica should pass its 9th IMF test based on several key improvements in the economy. For the April to June 2015 period, tax revenue was $3.4 billion more than targeted. Meanwhile, Jamaica's primary balance was $20.4 billion, 3.4 billion ahead of target. And the country's current account improved by about $150 million for the January to March 2015 period.
This is a very significant improvement, and it therefore produced a current account surplus for the first time in 10 years of $40 million.
Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips asserted this week that government's decision to buy back nearly $300 million of its Petrocaribe debt would reduce Jamaica's debt burden.
This transaction has the effect of lowering the debt to GDP ratio by approximately 10% given the difference in the principal amount.
The position was supported by EPOC's co-chairman Richard Biles. On Tuesday, government signed a heads of agreement for the 2015 to 2017 contract period with most of the unions represented by the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions.
The agreement is for 2 years, commencing April 2015 to March 2017. 12 items from the previous contract period are still being pursued. An increase in salaries projected for 4% in year 1 and 3% in year 2.
The agreement will end up costing the budget more than we had assigned in the budget. On our part, we will have to look at what aspects of the budget will have to be postponed, if not completely abandoned.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller launched a national land titling program this week to deliver approximately 45,000 titles that are at various stages of completion.
This program will bring together all the government agencies and stakeholders who are involved in the process of producing titles for land and homeowners across Jamaica.
At the launch, 63 residents of Tower Hill, Seaward Pen and Seaview Gardens were presented with their certificates of possession. The Housing Ministry signed 2 public-private partnership agreements with Herzog Jamaica Limited recently to complete the outstanding housing developments at Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine and Green Pond in St. James.
Agreements for sale with those depositors who have kept their funds with us will be honored at the originally stated sales price, but with a 5% escalation, which is normal.
Under the new agreements, 67 one-bedroom units and 276 studios will be built at Bernard Lodge in the first phase. 194 one-bedroom houses, 85 two-bedrooms, and 45 serviced lots will be delivered in the first phase of the Green Pond project. Recommendations to guide the development of regulations for the cannabis industry will be completed by September. It's being guided by the Cannabis Advisory Business Council and the Cannabis Licensing Authority.
They have engaged the support of consultants from Botech Analysis, who are here in Jamaica conducting research and meeting with stakeholders in an effort to develop recommendations on the key components of the country's regulatory framework for this new industry.
And finally, while announcing that math passes for the 2015 CSEC exams improved by 6.5%, the Education Ministry says it will be giving those who got a grade 4 in math and or English language another opportunity to get it right.
We want to do this during the first term of this coming academic year, with a view for them taking an examination in January, because we feel they're on the cusp and we shouldn't let them be remaining there.
The ministry will set up at least one center in each parish where 3 or 4 established teachers and members of the national literacy and mathematics teams will conduct classes to prepare the students. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
How well do you know your child? What he or she likes or dislikes? Favorite food or color? How about who their friends are? Make the time. Get to know your child. It helps to build their relationship. Makes it easy to keep them safe and it helps their development process.
We have come to the final page of today's magazine, but another informative edition awaits you tomorrow. Don't forget to share your feedback and comments. Email us at jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm, follow us on Twitter @JISnews, or visit our website at jis.gov.jm. I'm Arroyo Eubanks. Remember, if you fail to prepare, you must prepare to fail. So what are you waiting on? Start making your back-to-school preparations today.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.